y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Sankofa Sessions. Here,
It's okay. I got
let's do that again.
No, just let it roll.
Let's welcome back to another episode of Sankofa Sessions. I'm your host, Kofi Annan, here with my man.
I'm Kofi D, or Deuce, as they have called me now. Right? Kofi.
Right. What's going on, man?
I'm good. I'm still mad on Magic City, though.
No, we letting that go. We letting that go.
No, you letting it go. I'm a protest. I'm a protest. I'm gonna protest.
We have moved
We
on.
march for everything else.
We have elevated.
We march for everything else.
Elevated beyond Magic City. We are now only promoting positivity in the
That was
in the
a black
community.
business in Atlanta that has been around for how many years?
Yeah, you know what? They could celebrate it at Magic City.
See, I didn't want to go that far. I just said celebrate the business at the basketball game. I know that may be a controversial take, but hey, that is what it is. I'm telling you, Wizards going to do stadium.
They made it exactly the right decision to end that debauchery.
You know what you should do? You should write to the Atlanta Hawks and say, I did not support your Magic City night. Please give me paraphernalia.
There was actually, I think you care more about this than I do.
I
first
do,
of all.
actually. It's funny.
But there was actually like a petition going around, and like there was people like told to like call in. You know, D1. I know he was like at least one of the celebrities. He was you should call in, tell them to cut this off. So I think they actually got a lot of pushback, not just like on social media, but like there actually was a organized effort to end that, and good for them.
I'm telling you,
Decency won, debauchery none.
I'm telling you, DC gonna do Fuegos next, but I digress. We have a guest though.
We do have a guest.
I have to step back because this is gonna be a wonderful introduction. So,
oh man, that's too much pressure.
Crank it up.
All right, here we go. Joining us today is my wonderful wife, partner of 24 or 5 years. We're somewhere in that ballpark. She over here giving me the side eye. But yes, today I'm joined by my wonderful wife, Shareem.
Hey y'all, it's 24 years.
I got it right. Why was she looking at me funny?
Y'all almost a quarter.
You said 24 to 25. It's 24.
I can't win. Even when I'm right, I'm wrong. But look, so we're having a conversation today about colorism within the black community. And this issue affects women totally different from it does men. So it was very important that we brought in a woman, but that's not just any woman. In addition to being my wife, she's also a DEI or belonging and inclusion expert in the field. Been doing it for quite some time. So we're gonna get like some personal takes. We're also maybe get some professional takes on how this issue is affecting our community. And yeah.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Was that a good enough
introduction? It was all right.
All right. I got to work on that.
You got to work on that introduction.
I'll work on it.
The episode will be #Black Love.
All right. So what is colorism? How do you guys, define it? And, let's lay the foundation for our viewers here.
I'm going to let Shareem go because I got a definition I got to bring up right quick.
Okay.
Y'all going to put me on the spot?
Yeah. I'm going to bring up my definition first. Oh, sorry.
You got that. See, about the Magic City video came up.
I kind of did.
Hey, you know what? Little quick sidebar here. So I'm scrolling through Instagram the other day, right? And there's this woman, right? Yeah. right.
I don't know what that was.
I don't either.
There's this woman on there that like, yeah, okay. She's on there for her looks, right? Let me just say that. Anyway, so Shareem, you'll actually love this one. So I see one of our old pastor liking it.
What?
I'm not even gonna say no names or nothing like that. It was hilarious though. Yeah, so I was like, oh my God, why are you liking this?
Okay.
I bet he
Okay.
supported the Magic City movement. But, he
boy.
supported Magic City Monday. But anyway, back to live action. So,
Well, Kofi probably got his definition of. Let me hear what you got, Kofi.
So my definition comes from actually a song that's very prominent in hip hop culture. It was called "Every Girl" by Young Money. It was it was a popular song back in the 2010s.
He got to clear his throat.
The Lil Wayne verse opens up and he's like, "Ugh, I like a long hair, thick red bone," and then there's some explicit lyrics after that. I won't get into there, but that kind of sums up a lot of like the hip hop culture. I don't want to go into it like too narrow at first, but there's been a fetishization, if I'm pronouncing it right, of the different colors and hues of our culture. We know why it is, but I don't think we, in this time period, I don't think we have really like looked at it in a sense of why is it still prevalent. We made so much progress, in so many areas, but this seems to be one that's just like sticking with us, right? Like, why do we fetishize, our lighter skinned counterparts? And I even see it even with the dark skin, like the super chocolate. Now that's like we fetishize the different spectrum of the hues of our race. And I mean, what is it? I mean, beauty is universally accepted. I hope so. I think so.
No.
But you don't think so?
No.
You don't think
when
so?
When has that ever been?
You don't think so?
I'm not
today?
saying that's not what it should be, but beauty is always, there's always standards of beauty that have always existed, and I think dark skin has never been like the more commonly accepted standard.
But you don't
I
think
think it is more now.
Why, Shareem? And welcome to the show.
Thank you. I think people embrace, like, you hear like melanin magic and things like that. Like, people, melanin popping, not melanin magic. See, you got me thinking about Magic City. Melanin popping and things like that. I think people are embracing it more now than I feel like when I grew up in the 80s, 90s.
So
a little bit more. I don't know.
So talk, like, as a woman, right? Talk to us about like the different, I guess, back when you were a teenager, your 20s and 30s and stuff like that. Talk to us, I guess, like with your first touch point with like colorism. Like, what was the first thing you remember about, oh my God, this is a thing?
Probably elementary school.
Really?
Now, personally, I don't feel like I was like impacted by it. Probably like more indirectly, if that makes sense.
I thought you were about to say, I don't think I was that dark. So
no. Well, because I was like young little puppy love when you're in elementary school in the playground. The boys would seem to gravitate towards the lighter skinned girls with long hair, like that kind of image. And if you were darker skinned, like, you would be teased more so. That's kind of, I think, when I did not realize on what it was, obviously, back then, right? But it was definitely a divide that I saw at a young age, that this was, it was a difference in how even we treated each other. I went to it was all black elementary school. Now, when I got into high school, it was flipped. I do feel like I probably experienced it maybe without realizing what it was, without naming it, if that makes sense. Especially in high school, I do feel like the darker girls were treated a little different. And even so much as hanging out with like being invited to like parties and stuff. I remember like there were certain girls because there wasn't that many black kids in my high school. I went to a private school, but the lighter girls they were always invited to like the parties, and there was a group of us that weren't invited. I don't, maybe that's a coincidence. I don't know, but
so even because it's funny, because I think as a woman you experience it based on like, not in a romantic sense, but based on like who likes you, who doesn't like you, things like that. I think from like a male standpoint, the darker you were, oh man, the jokes were hilarious, but you couldn't laugh at the time. I mean, I was called oil baby. God, I'm trying to remember the names. Tar baby, oil baby.
I heard that name before.
What was it? The only difference between you and midnight is 11:59. That was one of them.
I've never heard that one before.
Yeah. I will think of more as we go through this episode. But I mean, there was a ton of, and I think like as you guys see it, I don't want to say romantic, but more of a who likes you. Mm-hmm. And Kofi, you tell me your experience too. You know, especially with coming here to DC and stuff, and coming to America. Like, guys, it's just raw. It's just at you, like, man, shut up, black ass. Like, it's just raw and unfiltered.
I mean, so honestly, I don't know if I experienced too much colorism directly. I mean, I'm dark, but I don't know. I mean, I'm.
Oh, you one of those people.
I'm one shade lighter than you.
I know your type. He was like, I'm with him. I can come here in private. Yeah, man, I don't like what they said. They ain't say that to me though. It's like
no. But so no, I don't know if I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I experienced too much colorism personally. I feel like, you know,
you probably heard it from other people.
I definitely heard it.
Yeah.
No, I definitely experienced it as far as like witnessing it, and I might have experienced it, I guess, somewhat. But for me, I guess maybe that wasn't like the first thing they, you know, you would talk about. For me, it was like my accent. You know, like that was like the first thing to get teased about, and maybe somewhere down the line, you know, like my skin tone. But like that, you know, that wasn't. But definitely, if the darker you were, the more you would, that would be the point to get teased. That was definitely something negative. And then the lighter, especially if you're a woman, a girl, then yeah, like that was the more attractive you were, the more of the it girl that you were, the more, you know, that you were lighter.
I mean, it's funny because like I think because you came here as a teenager, right?
No, I came here. I was 12.
Oh, 12. Okay, so you came here. You came in like tail end of elementary, maybe middle school.
Yeah.
I think it really is prevalent in Shareem. I would love to hear when you're younger than that, because like you're just discovering that people are different than you. Because like when you think about it, when you're in like preschool, kindergarten, you kind of see most of your family.
Right.
And then when you go to school, it's like, oh my God, it's all these different people that I've never met before, this random collection of kids. And then you be like, you look like this. You look like this. It's like that self-actualization.
Yeah.
So I think by the time you get into like high school and middle school, you already on whatever team you on.
True.
You already there. So it's funny how like you may have just missed it because people had already become old enough to be like, look, man, this is what I am. I know, and I've been like this for a couple of years now. Whatever.
I don't think so. Because,
you don't think you missed it?
No, because I mean the other people who were darker definitely got it.
See, there you go again.
Yeah,
but I will say this.
I'm joking with you.
I'll say this. On the flip side, I've seen lighter people get teased too. Like names, like you were saying, the darker skin names. I would hear names like Light Bright. You never heard that?
That is not cruel.
Term before?
I got called 1158. Like, I mean.
But I've heard it on both sides, like for light people, and then for dark people.
Yeah, but I remember it was funny because so there was this one girl in my middle school when I first came here. Everybody wanted to be with her, right? Of course, she was like super light.
They gonna have pretty babies.
She wasn't even that cute, honestly.
They wanted them pretty babies. They wanted them pretty babies.
I think the thing that she really had going for her was her light skin. Like she, you know what I'm saying? Okay, and I'm not here to knock light skinned people or anything like that, right? But just using an example, right? So Martin, right?
Oh, I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, I think Martin. Okay, so I've had conversations with people now, like looking back in hindsight, like just kind of jokingly, but like I think there's an element of truth to it, right? Like, who do you think was prettier, Pam or Gina?
I was a Gina fan.
Yeah,
I was a Gina fan.
But you thought that she was prettier than Pam?
I like Gina personality more because I felt Gina was more. She was goofy. She was more like, I would say like she was more like partner. Like I feel like Pam, how the way it portrayed her. I won't say how she was, but how the way they portrayed her is just like real rough, real around the edges, and that's
probably purposeful though.
That is where you associate colorism to personality, right? Traits, and I think that was on purpose. First of all, I thought Pam was always prettier, right? But I don't think she could ever play that role of the pretty one. Like
that
Martin,
is true.
Martin always was dogging Pam, always talking
B to B,
B to B, and
it's
right,
true. Yeah.
B to B, right, B to B, like that. You're dark. You got nappy hair. You're not pretty. You're not the pretty one here. You're the rough one. You're the ghetto one. You're the one that you associate all the negative traits to, right? Gina, the much lighter, has all the positive. She's the wifey type. You know, I think that's a perfect example of how colorism seeps into our culture, because all the positive attributes and the wifey type is associated with Gina. Pam never had a man, never really settled down. Always get made fun of. Always seems like to be the one ready to fight and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And I think those are, consciously or subconsciously, that's part of our culture.
But if I could say this though, there was some, even though I know people are gonna go, oh my God, there was some dark skin or brown skin sitcom wives and role models in the 90s, like when the sitcoms were prevalent. I mean, yeah, I want to say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I know they did the swap, but still, I can look back.
Was that intentional? The swap? I don't even know.
No, I think that was a work dispute though. I don't think that was
because it was a really dark when it started, and then they switched it to a much lighter person.
Yeah, but I think that was a work dispute. You got Family Matters. Harriet was dark skinned, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was a fan of the Hughley shows. His wife, Anise Neal, she was dark skinned. I mean, there's quite a few sitcoms. I know Martin was was on the pantheon of like black sitcoms in the 90s, but there was a ton of black sitcoms that I was about to say the Cosbys, but I think Alicia Rashad, she's a little lighter. She's a little lighter or whatever. But I mean, there was a ton of black sitcoms that maybe were just a notch down that had dark skin, but I don't think we think about that. Like there was some good representation of dark skinned women in the 90s.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm not saying that, I wouldn't say that they weren't there. I just would say like it was a lot more common to, even within those sitcoms, whenever you had the fine girl show up in those sitcoms, it was more than likely not a dark skinned girl.
That's true.
You know,
because think about the Cosby Show. I think most of Theo's girlfriends were more like lighter skin. But can I plug a book real quick?
Yes.
We are at Resist Bookseller. So Viola Davis's book Finding Me. This is an excellent book. I mean, it's real deep. You know, bring some tissues if you read it. But there's a lot of examples of in her book about colorism. And she went through a lot. Like if you seeing her where she is today and what she went through as a child and as a you know, becoming an actress is really amazing. But she experienced colorism at a really young age. Like she grew up in Rhode Island in a predominantly white neighborhood, and she was called every name, every not so nice black, you know, because of her dark skin name in the book. But she also talked about how she struggled as an actress getting roles that weren't a negative stereotype, right? So she not only roles on TV, but stage plays as well. So she went through a lot of different phases before she became like big as what she is today. But she definitely experienced, even going to Juilliard in New York, she experienced a lot of, you know, like this is the type of role you should play, right? That ghetto behavior, that you know, like just not a positive role. So she struggled with that, and she shares that in her book. So Viola Davis, Finding Me, really good book.
And buy it from
Book of the Day.
Resist
Bookseller.
If I could also, go ahead. My bad.
Also, let's take this moment to not just thank Resist Booksellers, but also to thank Modern Man Photography for
it's up there somewhere,
for hooking us up with all this awesome production.
We love you, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
If I could say something right quick about the colorism thing, because we can talk about it here, But what we're doing is try to tie it to the diaspora. One experience I have that I would like to share with you all was about bleaching cream. So I went to Ghana in 1994. So for those of you who don't know, I'm not a tether. My father is actually from Ghana and my mom's African American. So for those of you who call me a tether, I would say tether.
For those of you who call you a
tether.
For those of you who use the word tether, can we cuss? Can we cuss?
I mean, hey, you a grown man.
Nah, I ain't gonna cuss, but that's how I feel about y'all.
Yeah. But anyway, I never forget. I was in Timma at my Uncle James's store. Right, my Uncle James had a store. It's now a restaurant and catering place on 2.1 Tavern in Timma. Great food. Shout out to my auntie. Shout out to my cousin who's running it now. One of the things they used to sell in the store was this cream. And I remember I used to always go in the store and get these little, they didn't call them cookies, they call them biscuits, because everything's from the British. They call them biscuits, these little sweet cookies. But in the little convenience store, they had this cream. It was called bleaching cream. It was called like Skin White. And I'm like, what would that be for? So it was just a fleeting memory, me being a kid there. So I went back. I took a long hiatus, didn't go back to Ghana until 2016. And I went to a gas station on Spentex Road. And there was a whole aisle of bleaching creams with various names now.
Wow.
Right? Bright White. Super Skin. What was the other one? Pure White. And they either had a white woman on them or a light-skinned woman on them. And they even had potency. Some of them even had potency. Like if you were super dark, they would put a dark-skinned woman on them saying that you need the extra strength.
Wow.
Right? Seriously, I that's something we can share on our social media because I still have the pictures in my phone. Right? And people would be buying this stuff in droves. I'm not saying it's like they're buying it in the sense of they're standing in line buying it, but people are actually using this, right? So the self-esteem had been so low in some people, they were willing to put a cream that we don't even know what's in it.
And I'm willing to bet you that most of that stuff is harmful.
Yeah.
Is harmful for your So yeah, I think. Matter of fact, I know that's the case because most of that stuff is actually illegal in Europe.
Yeah, but it's sold, and what's crazy is if you go to some of the shops here that cater to, not so much anymore, right? But when you go to some of the shops that cater to, immigrants, especially West African immigrants or African immigrants as a whole, you can find some of that cream. They literally were thinking, and you can go look at this online, and hopefully we can get an example somewhere. There's people with dark elbows and light skin. Like they literally, you couldn't change your elbow, but you could change.
Like when you were born.
Who? I got a light skin friend like Michael Jackson. I got a dark skin friend like Michael Jackson. I'm ready for some action.
You think Michael Jackson was bleaching?
Nah.
What was going on with that?
He had the Uncle Ruckus disease. What?
Okay.
That was revitiligo or vitiligo. Okay,
You believe it?
I think he did. Okay. I think he did, and he tried to mask it. I think he had it, and it was happening, and then he was like, "Oh my God, I have to do something about it." I think it started, and then it.
You think that affected the size of his nose too? That man's nose was razor thin. Couldn't even breathe. Man.
Shout out to Mike, man. Shout out to Mike, the greatest pop star. The greatest pop star. The greatest pop star, or whatever.
Okay. I agree with that.
But Shareem, let me ask you this, if I could, right? Because I don't think either of us will makeup or whatever, right? Have you noticed it, like, because most women wear makeup. Do you wear makeup at all? Any time? Maybe past?
Every now and again.
Okay.
I'm not a big makeup person, though.
Okay, but you have worn makeup in the past. Have you noticed, like, that once upon a time they didn't have different hues? It was catered to a certain maybe skin color or texture or anything like that? Was there a time when, like, even like cosmetics products weren't for you?
Yeah, I think like when I was like younger, but now it's definitely improved. There's a lot of black makeup artists. I actually love Rihanna's brand Fenty. She has a lot of different shades, and it's very close to all the different shades that we have. But yeah, I think there have been, and I think some people also try to make their skin a little lighter.
Really?
With the foundation that they use.
Really? I mean, you can't change who you are, can you?
No.
I mean, so I don't know, this colorism thing. I think it even expands border because I've been to the Caribbean and stuff too. I've been to the Dominican Republic. I've been to a couple other countries and things. Kofi, in Guyana, I'm not too keen on how you guys' population is segmented, but how is it viewed over there?
I would say I can't really speak specifically to Guyana. I don't know if I feel like it's this. Honestly, I feel like this is something that's spread throughout the African diaspora as a whole.
Period.
Yeah,
Wow.
equally. I think because there's either some kind of formal or informal caste system that was put in place throughout the diaspora.
You know, black, I'm Dominican. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
You know, so
Shout out
like
to the Dominicans.
no matter where you are in the diaspora, there's always been the idea of like white is on top, and dark black is at the bottom, and the somewhere in the middle, you the closer you are to whiteness, the more privileges you got. I think that started from there.
The more respect.
The more respect, the more privilege. Like literally, you might be able to get certain jobs. You know, that's actually still exists today. You know, speaking
think
of
so?
jobs,
There's a lot of bias
absolutely.
out there. Yeah.
You think so?
No,
So-
there's-
Oh, yeah,
No, so
absolutely.
there's actually studies that show that lighter you are, the more you make. Even when you factor in for education and everything else. So like it's not something that's just of the past. Like this still these biases still actually play a tangible role in our society right now.
Would you say though, and one thing I think we all don't want to put this out there, we're not saying that people of fairer skin have this ulterior motive to like get over, right? Because it's not their fault. It's the system
Yeah,
that has
yeah.
created
Right.
a quote
kind
unquote
of a-
unbalanced and unbiased, right?
Right.
Because those are our brothers and sisters too. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
Like I mentioned, they get teased too. Like I told you, I heard like the light bright comment. So
that is not a tease. That
It is a
That's a
tease.
tap. It's like, yeah. Getting called 11:58 is still worse than.
I thought it was
called
11:59.
I said the only difference between you. Never mind. I'm not gonna go through this with you, Shareem. But we don't want to say that those people of fairer skin they have like a hierarchical like bias to their own race or whatever, because they're just products of it. They don't have a choice in the matter. You're born how you're born.
Right.
Or
The
whatever.
system is
It's the system,
The
yeah.
system creates these issues. Yeah.
But I guess the question is like, what can we do about it? Like, we always try to come up with solutions here. Is there a solution to the colorism problem? Or is it just something that's just a fact?
I think we have to have more conversations about it. I don't think we talk about colorism. Like we talk about racism a lot, but I don't think the colorism conversation happens.
So we need to bring somebody from the light skin delegation here? Okay. I'm going to get canceled.
But I mean, I think to that point though, like it is something I didn't know until I was doing research for this show that I realized that there are actually studies that show that lighter skinned people like make more money. Like there's like $1 more
Really?
the lighter you are, right? So they start off at like dark brown and like there's like a basically like by the time you make it up to white, you're making significantly more than black or darker people. I mean, so I think things like that would take it beyond just like teasing, right? Or people's self-esteem, but realizing that no, this thing actually does affect people's psyche, their ability to earn a living,
Healthcare,
ability to get a job,
how they're treated when they go to the doctor. I mean,
right? All
all of
these
that,
types of
all
things.
of those things get factored in.
And I mean, and so to your point about like light-skinned people also suffer too as well. Like they have to walk around with this kind of stigma themselves too, wondering, you know, like, am I here because I'm light-skinned? You know, am I going to be accepted by darker-skinned people as being black?
Yeah,
And that's why they go so hard.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
that is a stereotype.
that is a stereotype
That's a
of
stereotype,
light-skinned,
yeah.
especially light-skinned men.
They go hard.
Yeah. But okay, but so let me challenge you on that though. Is that actually true, or is that actually just a stereotype that we have of light skinned men? Because we do have that
The pretty
we
boy.
talk
You talking about like
women.
the pretty boy type of?
No, I'm
thing?
talking about like the Arthur Sean King. I'm talking about Colin Kaepernick. There's a lot of Malcolm X. There's a lot of lighter skinned historical figures. W.E.B. Du Bois.
Yeah.
But now you're kind of, that's not I feel like you're kind of cherry picking to say that you're associating it with their light skin, but that doesn't mean that they're doing it because they're light skinned.
No. But it could be. I've heard the argument. I won't say it's an accurate argument, but the argument is there that people of biracial ethnicity tend to go harder in the terms of the racial equality and issues that affect blacks. They tend to want to be more proactive on it for some odd reason. It's almost like a sense of trying to prove themselves. Right? I'm not saying that's an accurate argument, but an argument has been had about that many of times.
I would also, I don't know. So I'm not sure about that. I see where you're going with that, and I could see how kind of theoretically that could be, but I could also see how it could be that maybe they're accepted more in places because of their light skin. Maybe because subconsciously we all associate lighter skinned people with being more intelligent, that maybe they're able to elevate beyond somebody else who might be, maybe they're just accepted in more spaces and given a better a higher platform or a bigger platform because of their light skin. I don't know. I think it's
I think two things
interesting
be true.
Take on it though.
Yeah, two things would be true because I think that argument, like I said, it's not my argument. It's a argument that has been had, is that since they have this racial ambiguity, they want to have some type of deep-rooted sense of self. So they align themselves with the struggle of black people in this country and the diaspora, because that tends to be where they can get more bang for their buck when it comes to, hey, I want to do something. Well, where should you do something at? I'm going to help the blacks. I say that in a joking way, but I'm serious. Like, hey, I can actually make an impact here because that's half of my identity. And I also want to prove to my people that, hey, I'm not just riding the fence. I'm with y'all.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's an argument.
I could see that. I see what you're saying.
I mean, shout out to Barack. I mean, hey, he's a point in case for that or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, would he have made it as far as he did if he was not mixed?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Matter of fact, before I would love to hear your opinion. Do you think Barack would have made it as far as he did if he wasn't biracial? That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know.
I think he would have.
You think so?
I think that brother is a great orator. I think if one thing I think God touched him when it comes to that skill of talking. That man can captivate a room like no other. I've never seen anything like it before.
He is very inspirational.
I'm gonna say no. I'm not saying I'm taking anything away from him and his intelligence.
He's gonna make you take his picture down in your house now.
I ain't got no pictures
No.
of him.
You don't have the traditional
No.
No.
him, Michelle, and the kids.
No.
Okay, I just had to ask. It comes with your Black Experience kit. You didn't get that kit?
No.
We don't have one of those.
He didn't open the door when they came.
No.
Nah, but I'm gonna say no because I feel like that. First of all, his race was always talked about. Unfair to him, but it was a factor, right? And to the point where he even had to make a speech about it. Like, you remember after his pastor, his old pastor,
Jeremiah Wright,
came out and basically forced him into the position where he had to make a whole speech about race. And during that speech, he basically highlighted his white side and said, like, no, you guys, I'm not some radical black person over there. I'm mixed. I'm this, that, and other. And I'm not even faulting him for saying that, but I definitely feel like there was a segment of America that was uncomfortable with his blackness and the fact that he was half white.
Which is why we are where we are today.
Made him more acceptable. They felt more comfortable, and that's so it wasn't just what he was saying, but they were like, nah, he wouldn't fight for reparations because he got a white grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's some truth to that. Like he was seen as like acceptable, and I think part of that had to do with his mixed background.
What you think about that?
That might be why we are where we are today, because we had a black president.
Yeah, because I mean, they didn't say my president was mixed, and
They didn't.
No, the song was my president was black. My Lambo
I mean,
blue.
yeah, he was black. I'm not questioning his blackness, but we all know he was also mixed. And I'm just saying for some people out there, some segment of the white population out there who are uncomfortable with black people, or uncomfortable with what they imagine a black president would do, right? As far as like things like reparations and things like that, he made them feel comfortable. And I think part of that making them feel comfortable had to do with the fact of his mixed background.
So he kind of was relatable to.
Yeah, he was
both.
relatable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, politicians do this all the time, right? Like Kamala Harris, right? Like, yeah, she was black, but she was also Asian, and she made sure she highlighted that fact. Like, oh, I'm not all black. I'm Asian too. You know, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go step at Howard, when it comes time. But Asians, y'all, I got y'all too. You know what I'm saying? Like, race and politics is definitely intertwined, and so I don't think we could ignore that.
I don't think you can or whatever. You brought up a good point about sororities. You're a part of a sorority, correct?
I am.
What sorority is that, ma'am?
Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
So I'm not a part of the Divine Nine, but I have a lot of friends that are, and I respect the culture because what you all do in the community and the institution in our race, I think the Divine Nine is like, it has to be there. I think it's like, you can't replace the Divine Nine. I've been hearing on the internet people like, I denounced the Divine Nine because of whatever. I don't want to get into
religion,
that, which people have their own thing, but I think it's, to our experience here in America, I think the Divine Nine is absolutely necessary. When I was younger, I always heard there was like these different racial divides, not racial, but different colorism divides over the different fraternities and things like that. I don't want you to speak on the sense of the stereotypes, but
oh yeah, I mean, we can speak on it.
Oh, my bad,
like
big dog.
I mean, the deltas are the dark skin, the AKAs are the light skin,
wow,
the Kappas are light skin, the Qs are the dark skin. Like, but this is not is not just stereotype. This stuff is actually grounded in fact. Like, that's how these organizations began. Like, they weren't inclusive for the
I would
very
say
beginning.
I would say they're more inclusive now.
No, yeah. I'm saying that now, yes. Yeah. But like, you look back at those old pictures, yeah, like that wasn't an accident. Like, these organizations were very elitist, and part of that feeling like you're elitist, like you had tests, you had, as far as like, if you couldn't be a certain shade, you had we did a lot of things to ourselves, you know what I'm saying? So like, this colorism thing, like, yes, it was originally imposed from the outside. But we internalized those things ourselves, and then we implemented these things ourselves, on ourselves, and we still are.
It's the self-perpetuating machine that runs themselves.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to have any type of outside input anymore. It's just something that self-perpetuates itself in our in our culture.
I mean, and like the AKAs were like the pretty ones, right? Like, the light skin, the pretty ones were the AKAs. Like the pretty boys are the Kappas. Like we internalize these things and we perpetuate it. And so, like, I'm glad you brought that up, because I definitely think that's part of how these things manifested.
You think that was part of how that sense of colorism spread in like America, especially times after the Emancipation Proclamation? Because a lot of those organizations, not to speak on, I'm no expert of the Divine Nine, so please don't come for me, but I know a lot of them were formed in like the late 18 to early 1900s or whatever. So we're talking about Jim Crow era, we're talking about after Reconstruction or whatever. So are we, I won't say insinuating, but do you think that was part of the spread of the coloriculturism in Black American culture? Do you think?
I think that definitely played a role.
I think some, partly.
Yeah. But it's not the case anymore.
I don't think so. I see it a lot more diverse now.
I mean, I applaud you all for what you guys do, and I was acutely aware of, like, I guess, that divide, but I didn't know that was such a big thing in the beginning. And thank you for bringing that up, because, you know, one question I have for you, Shareem, is, and don't hit me for this one, right?
Okay, I'm gonna try not to.
Yeah, I know.
I'm close to you.
I know you. I know where you from, right? You know, no, you ain't got no Tim's on. We good. How is it? I would love to hear from Kofi too. Black love. When it came to, because I know y'all been together for almost a quarter century now. Black love. When it came to dating as a young woman, right? Be careful what you say, because your husband here, right? How
Put me on the
was it?
spot, Kofi.
I mean, how was it? Was there any pressures, like, as a young woman, right, to, like, date a certain type? Because I remember when I was in high school, people used to say, "Oh, I want to get the light skinned guy because I want to have some pretty babies," right? With like talk to us
pretty
about
hair.
Yeah, and pretty hair, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us about, like, that teenage to early adulthood dating era. Like, was that a thing to have preference over skin type?
I personally didn't.
Okay.
Now, some of my friends, they did.
That was a thing.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing. Like they would only talk to guys that were either dark. Some preferred darker guys, some preferred lighter guys.
Gotcha.
Me personally, though, I was more personality first. So
Glad you didn't say preferred lighter guys, because I'd be like, what the?
I was hoping that.
Let me get some of that bleaching cream.
Hey man, we can start an import business. I mean, we can get a whole shipping container full of it. You just dump it on, you just disappear. Where am I? Where am I going? So I have to ask you, Kofi. Growing up,
Nah, I never bought into that. But I think part of that was some of the media that I consumed. Like, I was always a little bit more on the alternative, like, non-mainstream when it comes to music. So I would listen to what we used to call conscious rap. So, like, things, musicians and rappers that always uplifted dark skinned lady. What's that song? Talib Kweli, brown skinned lady.
Yeah.
Where you go? Like, I always internalized things that lifted up our black women, like, and not separated it as far as, like, skin color and and being a lighter skin and stuff like that. Because I always had a problem with that. I just never. Yeah, never. I just always realized that was really silly, and to I always found all shades of dark skinned women.
Good answer.
black love.
What about you?
So for me, I've always been mainly the darkest person in the room, or one of the darkest people, unless there's another, like, fellow African there, or maybe a fellow Caribbean there. Like, I'm always on the bottom end of the shade chart.
The spectrum.
The spectrum, right? But I really never had any preference. I will say this. I was married, and my ex-wife was light skinned, but that was based off of just personality. That wasn't based off of anything. But the crazy thing about it is, when you do marry or you're with somebody, people assume that that's the thing. Like, oh, you like. I've had that said to me before, where it was like, oh, you only deal with. I'm like, well, no, I was married to that person. It's not like I only dealt with, and it's funny because, like I said, my kids are a few shades lighter than me, and they don't get any of that super dark skin jokes and things like that or whatever, But I remember as a kid, my grandma, especially on my mom's side, boy, don't go outside, you can get dark. Like, that was said. I never heard that from my Ghanaian side of the family. Shout out to my grandmother, I love her to death. She was from Augusta, Georgia. She'd be like, yeah, boy, you been out there, son, you black. Yeah. So it's funny because, like, on my Ghanaian side, that never was a thing. But on my African American side, that was a thing. Not in a bad way. She didn't mean it with this sense of colorism.
But I think subconsciously,
yeah.
I think that's where that came from. Like, you don't want to get too black.
Yeah. I remember her saying that, playing outside and stuff like that. You know, she would say things like that, not in a bad way, but it's funny because I've always had both sides of the conversation, like the diaspora and the continent, and we approach it completely different. You know, and it's just been curious. But no, I love all hues. You know, I love all hues. It's just, I wish, especially with the kids, they would embrace the differences instead of just straight going to dark is ugly and light is right. Like, that's still, no.
Yeah, I definitely think it's still an issue. I mean,
to this day in 2026,
it's still an issue. I mean, and I think some of that is perpetuated in our music, right? Like,
do I need to quote Lil Wayne again?
No, but I mean,
it's a lot of quotes.
You could quote almost all of the trash rappers in the out there. Like, you look at the music videos, you almost will never see a dark skinned girl.
That's not true.
Almost. I'm not saying never.
Okay.
But you tell me the 90% are, first of all, they got to be some foreign, some kind of Middle Eastern, something. If that,
it depends. It depends on what rapper you got. Because I'm about to say there's a lot
of generalizing, but I
was about to say there's some current contemporary artists that feature dark skinned women in their music.
I think it's more common now, but I think when we were growing up, it was different.
Man,
I don't watch the music videos right now. I don't know.
I don't really watch them.
I think when we were growing up,
I still watch.
What I would see is more like long hair, light skin.
Yeah, or you had Foxy Brown, you had Little Kim. They wasn't like they.
That's true.
They was out there. Name me a female.
I'm talking about in the guys' rap videos, not the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't mean the rappers themselves. I'm talking about the video, the girls that are in male black rappers videos. Right. They're typically somebody light skin, right? And I think that's part of what perpetuates this standard of beauty. That the standard of beauty is lighter skin.
Yeah, there's two rappers that I don't know if y'all familiar with. They actually make a conscious effort. Young Dolph, who passed away a couple of years ago in Memphis, he always had dark skinned women in his video. He did it on purpose. And his cousin, who's kind of carried on his legacy, Key Glock. Anytime he has a leading lady, she's always dark skinned. So that's
good.
Even your boy NBA YoungBoy. He's a lot of his leading ladies are dark skinned. So as much as y'all say he be up in there shoot 'em, bang bang, there's a little bit of consciousness into him.
That's good.
So I mean,
I hope that is a trend, because it definitely was for the longest while. The standard of beauty was the lighter skin, women. And there's nothing wrong with y'all. Hey, look, light-skinned women out there. Look, y'all are beautiful. Just saying.
We already get called tethers. Now you're gonna say. Now they're gonna call us a name.
Yeah, look, we're here to uplift, not tear down. So we're uplifting our darker-skinned women right now. And just letting them know, y'all are just as beautiful. And so, those standards that really started off throughout slavery and kind of got passed on through the generations. We gotta fight back against those things, like the standards of beauty, where it's thick lips, big nose, kinky hair, all that stuff. That's all beautiful.
You're supposed to say BDBs. No. What? But shout out to all the women, no matter what hue you are, because ultimately, I believe today beauty can be seen. That's the one thing I love about today. Even though I know the media is so fractured and fragmented when it comes to where you get your news from. Is it real, fake news? I don't know. But you're able to see so many different things that without this little device here, you wouldn't be able to see. And I think that we're able to see all different types of beauty or whatever. You got to be careful with your IG algorithm, though.
All right, Pastor. What's the name?
Oh, so you call it names.
I ain't say his name.
You call it now. I'm not doing that.
Pastor so and so.
So shout out to the dark skin, brown skin, caramel, everything in between.
Puerto Rican.
Oh, that's it. So no black or Dominican. So somebody said that to me before. Shout out to the Dominicans too. But I will say this though, and I know we got to wrap this up. If the Wizards decide to do
We're not going back there again, Kofi.
What about Fuego?
Only,
Shout out to Fuego.
Only if it's they only display the dark skin strippers.
Oh my god.
Dark skin strippers only at Stadium Night in DC. That way I support it.
We gotta edit that out. Oh my goodness.
All right, with that said, Shareem, it is a wrap. Baby, love you. Thank you for coming on the show.
You're awesome, Shareem.
Y'all were fun.
You should be like an honorary check-in guest.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I could do that.
You come on in.
I gotta get Kofi over here under control.
No, he's not. He's like this because you're here.
I know. You brought out the worst to me. I can't believe that.
Can I plug this again?
Yeah.
The book of the day.
All right. Book of the day is Finding Me, Viola Davis. Excellent read. You can get it here at Resist Booksellers down in Old Town Petersburg.
Can you show the back of that book? Man, yep, she would got cracked on.
Yeah, that's I think it's for her.
It's an excellent book.
No. Show the back of the book one more time, right? And I'm not saying it's joking. It's Viola Davis is actually like somebody I really admire or whatever. But boy, I swear, those elementary school pictures were not flattering for anybody. My elementary school pictures are terrible. I don't know what it is about those cameras back in the day. They used to be like, look the worst you can. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I got elementary school photos.
Clouding the point she was trying to make. She had a good point.
I had a good point.
We could have ended on a positive note, and you talking about her forehead.
No, I know. Oh, I didn't say that. I never said that.
We out of here, y'all. Thank you, Resist Booksellers. Thank you, Modern Man.
We love y'all. We love y'all. Fix the elementary school pictures. That's my campaign pitch.